What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Gioni Drive. My name is Sam and this is my garage. The star of my garage is obviously my 4-post lift. Today we are talking about my experience of owning the lift for the last 7 months. Yes, but before we start, I have to say I have been very lucky to have a garage like this. Sometimes I still cannot believe that this is actually mine. Going to the beginning of the year, my garage looked like a mess. It looked like this. Let's go ahead and get into the experience of owning this lift. So this is a Wildfire lift. It can lift up to 9,000 pounds. But in my application or in my garage, it's only lifting cars that weigh about 2,500 pounds. So it's working on 30% of its capacity. I haven't had any issue. It has been very reliable. Actually, I had one issue. I had hydraulic fluid leak, and that's because one of the line was not tight enough and it caused a little bit of a leak. All I did was call the guy who installed it. He came and tightened the line, and I haven't had any issues with it. So let's start with how I actually use the lift. It's normally a storage lift. I barely do any work on it. If I do anything, it might be some oil change. Other than that, it's been storing cars here. For the past 7 months, there's a car always sitting on it. So since it's a storage lift, every now and then I do have to bring one car down or put another car up. And I have put some markers here and there to let me know when I'm in the right position. So let me show you how I use it. So over here you can see I added a blue tape, and that's to let me know the height to be safe approaching the ceiling over there. So I know for this car, if I stop right here, I'll be in the safe zone. Also on the lamp, I have a blue tape here, just to let me know if I stop in this area here, I'll also have enough room up there. So I have to park between this frame and also this frame on the ceiling, and the car can go up there a little bit more. So that gives me a little bit of breathing room when I lift the car up. But it's hard to see it when you're driving on. I'll show you the one I use for that. So when I'm driving the car in on top of the lift, most of the time I'm parking it by myself, and on this wall I put tape on this shelf right here. So this technically will let me know that when the side mirror aligns with this or is very close to this, then I can stop the car and the car will be positioned in the right place. So what are some advantages and some disadvantages of owning the lift? Obviously, starting with advantages, you create an extra space here. So that comes in very handy, not just for storage, but also to do some maintenance on the car. Like changing oil now is very easy. I don't have to be on the floor. You can change the exhaust. You can do a lot of things with the 4-post lift. Also, it kind of saves you money. I used to rent a space to store this car, and it used to be around $200 a month. And to get a good storage here in California, it's about $300 to $400. If you get a storage with a climate control, you're going to pay at least $400 a month. For people like Matt Farah, who has a very nice storage down in LA, he charges around $700 per car. You can see the prices can add up very quickly if you have to pay every month to keep a car somewhere. The installation cost and buying cost is quite high. So this was $5,000 plus taxes and delivery and installation. It ended up being like $6,000 lift. So I have to keep the lift for at least 4 to 5 years for me to recuperate that cost. But the other thing is, it saves me time. When I was renting a place for it, it was 30 minutes away. If I wanted to drive it, I have to drive there 30 minutes and then drive 30 minutes back here. So that was like an hour wasted. So having it here is a lot more convenient than renting a place for it. I could have rented a place close to me, but then it costed twice as much. It was $400 versus $200. So one disadvantage of having the lift is always here. It's prominent fixture in your garage, and it takes half of the garage. So even if it's empty, this post will still be in the middle of the garage. If I have a bigger car to park here on the empty side, it's a tight squeeze to get in here. That's one of the disadvantages of having this type of a lift. I consider the single post lift, but those are very expensive. They're like $15,000 just to buy one. So the second issue I have noticed is the car on top normally stays on top. So for the 7 months I have owned the lift, I had a Porsche 914 sitting here. And that car sat up there for like 4 months. The 240Z now is sitting up there, and it has been here for like a month. I do want to drive that car. I have to move few cars. It's not just a simple get in and drive. I have to move this car, then bring this car down, then move this car back in, just so I can drive that. So it's not something I can wake up in the morning, get into driving within 5 minutes. It will take me at least 10-15 minutes to move this car down and get it to where I want to drive it. If you took a physics class in high school, you know that the hot air tends to rise, and the car on top is normally 10 to 20 degrees warmer up there than down here. And especially in a garage like this where I don't have the insulation, it's not air controlled, that car gets very hot in the summer. It's still better than having it outside in the sun, so it's something to consider. The car on top gets very warm. And lastly, and this is mostly my fault, when I park this car down here and I get out, sometimes I forget to step away before I stand up. So I'll open the door and I'll stand right up. So I hit my head on the lamp, and I can tell you, this thing will give me a concussion one day. Other than that, I actually do enjoy having the lift. It has been very reliable. And some of the issues I have, they're the fast wild issues. But if you're thinking about the lift, those are some of the things you might experience. Like having the car on the top, sit on top for a while, getting warm up there, hitting your head here. I still love the lift. I'll keep it here for as long as I can afford to be here. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.